¿Está grabando? Sí, grabé. Qué raro en inglés, güey.
Es cierto, va.
Por favor, habla así todo el podcast, güey.
Alright, I'll try to speak like that.
Alright. Welcome to the Music Business 101 podcast. I'm your host, Luis Guinea, a seasoned musician, songwriter, and producer. With over 13 years in the industry and as the founder of Moctezuma Music Group, I'm here to take you behind the scenes of the music world. Our podcast connects you with industry professionals, exploring their experiences, insights, and success stories. Our goal? To demystify the music industry's diverse universe, from genre and trends to invaluable information. Whether you're an artist, a pro, or music enthusiast, join us to unlock the magic behind the melodies. Welcome to the Music Business 101 podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Music Business 101 podcast. I am truly excited to be back again after so many years without releasing a new episode. But well, here I am with two very special guests that I'm very happy we are here. It's a really special occasion because we are starting our master's degree here in Berklee College of Music in the Valencia campus. So there's a funny situation here happening because the three of us actually come from Mexico, and well, the three of us are called. What is your name?
Luis.
And I'm also Luis. So we are the three Luises from the campus and from Mexico. So welcome both of you. I'm really happy. Thank you for being here with me. So you can see, we are recording this in English. This is actually the very first episode in the whole podcast live to be recorded in English. And I decided to do this because, we are expanding to a more global audience. We are like a lot of people here, not only in the campus, but also like the people that is going to come here as guests to speak about their journeys in music and why are they here, what have they doing, what have they been doing in the music industry. I want this to reach all audiences and where we are all here speaking in English. So that's why, even though we're the three of us could speak in Spanish and we have many friends and family back in Mexico that are going to see this, I want everyone to understand what we're saying. So, first to start, I want to introduce you to Luis Guevara, which is he has a very rich background in musical journalism, composition, guitar, and production. So, Luis, could you tell us, please, a little bit more about your journey? How have you managed to explore this diverse facets of the music world?
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's an honor for being in the first episode. It's an honor being with two Luises at the same time. Yeah. Like, everyone thinks our moms are not that creative, but they are. Definitely they are. They have good taste in names.
At least we have like a second name.
Yeah, for example,
which is different.
Yeah, actually, why don't we tell our second names? What is your second name?
Enrique.
Luis Enrique.
Enrique.
Okay, I mean Luis Carlos.
Luis Adrián.
Luis Adrián. So at least we have
Enrique, Carlos, and Adrián.
That, so you can call us Luis Enrique, Luis Adrián, and Luis Carlos.
So, I don't know how back do you want me to go? Like, my first encounter with music, I always loved music. It was always in me somehow. Okay, and basically my mom forced me to play an instrument. That's so funny.
Really?
As being as a child, my mom wanted to have like the child explore anything. I was into drawing as well, and she was like, you need to learn an instrument. Like, I don't want, mom. Like, you need to learn an instrument.
Wow.
Okay. So guitar was like the first option, I guess, that was in there. At first I didn't want to play guitar, and because I was rebellious,
Okay,
I wanted to try something else. But then the guitar came back and I just got obsessed with it. I was practicing for hours. I saw that I could be good at it.
Right.
I saw potential in my patience, because playing an instrument, you need to have patience.
Yes.
So I learned that I could be really patient and actually practice every day, which is the hardest thing as playing for an instrument. So
and even more when you're a child, right? Just being sitting there and practicing. How old were you back then?
I started when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old. So I wasn't that young, but I wasn't that old. I think it was like a sweet spot between, like, you could understand the the concepts and the thing that is behind the instrument, but as well as to admire and see how the instrument develops, you know. So basically I developed like this obsession with the guitar, and it turned out to be really cool for me because it made me meet new friends as well. It made me connect more with people because I used to be a really shy kid. I really didn't talk to anyone. I still don't do it as well as much. But with the guitar it was like an excuse to be out there, you know. Like I've never had like, I never thought I had the balls to be like on a stage with random people. You just play, you know. So this thing, the guitar, made me push me and change me literally to be someone else basically. And with that I tried to explore the guitar and the music, but basically life took me to so many different directions. I tried to apply to Berkeley, like for the graduate program as a performer, I think. I don't remember. I didn't get accepted. Thank you, Berkeley.
That for graduate?
For graduate.
No,
undergraduate. Sorry, undergraduate. Undergraduate.
All right.
For undergraduate in Boston.
Okay.
I didn't get accepted, so. Well,
but
now we're here. Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Actually, I think we all have a story with Berkeley that we might talk about that later in this episode. But yeah, it's so amazing how music can like improve ourselves. How music or playing an instrument can take a person to a higher level in all aspects. I've heard a quote, or I don't know who said that. If you gave an instrument to every child in the world, you would have probably end war. You know. I don't know where I listened.
Give a child an instrument, not a gun.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. So that's true. I mean, everyone. I think it makes you more sensitive or more empathic. More like you, as you said, it made you connect with other people, and it developed social skills that some of us don't have when like we are. Children, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes it's hard to know how to interact with other people, and playing an instrument doesn't need you to do anything but just to
express yourself. Definitely.
Right?
So after that, I tried to pursue this music career. I didn't know exactly what. I wanted to be a guitar player, maybe a composer, maybe a producer. I don't know. I was just keep on playing guitar and writing music. It was part of myself. I always create stuff. Like since I was a child, I always drew like my own characters. I always create stuff, you know. And with music, even without knowing anything, I downloaded a DAW, and it was called Mixcraft. I remember it was like a really like Fruit Loops like that one, but even more primitive. And I spent hours making songs, recording my computer, and it was the computer that is from 2000s, you know, that is the thin microphone. You know, I recorded stuff there. I learned a lot, like just recording every day, like creating stuff, and it was so entertaining for me, you know. So that was the way that I used to play when I was like a teen, like pre-teenager. And then I got into the undergraduate now in Tec de Monterrey, and I studied music production because it was like the most obvious thing for me to study, I guess, because I was interested in marketing as well and graphic design, which are also some of my passions as well, apart from music. But music was like my obvious choice, you know, because I've been playing for my whole life until then, you know, and it was like the only program that I could definitely connect all the things that I loved. So I started there, and you see, journalism entered during that time, because I remember I was just playing guitar, learning my stuff in the Tec de Monterrey, and I was in a music shop. I remember I was playing guitar, and a friend of mine, she came in and she was like, "Oh, hey Liz, how are you? Oh, nice, you know." And she was like, it was summer, by the way, it was around June, and she told me like, "Oh, you like rock and roll, don't you?" Yeah, I love it. Would you like to come to a radio show in UDEM, which is like the other university? It's not Tecnológico.
It's like the Politécnica of Valencia, right?
Exactly. So basically, she told me like, "Hey, you would like to be a host at the radio station?" Like, I've never been a host. I don't know what that like the skills you need to have. I didn't know anything on how to even host a radio show, but I was like, well, I'll go definitely. So we made this rock show that it was called Rock House. It was I came up with the name. I'm still proud.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rock House. And we talk about rock music. It was like an hour long. At 7 p.m. It was a really good hour, actually, like prime time for the radio. And I was there for the summer, and I ended up loving it. You know, like talking about music, like because I've always been like a music geek in a way that I love history. I've always loved history, not only about music but in general. But I loved history. Mostly of music, of course. I read a lot of like autobiographies. I read a lot about fun facts, the history and stuff like that. And it was a way to actually talk about those things without getting people bored. You know, there was a reason why I could say that stuff now. So it was like really cool. Like I connected to that journalistic thing that I didn't know that I liked. You know, and it gave me that rush, like playing live. You know. That thing that you feel around your body when you're about to get on a stage, you know, when you're on stage, you get like this, you get into this like meditative state in your mind.
Very present.
Like, exactly. It gave me the same thing during the live show because it was live radio show. So we were live. I was talking live. You know,
so you cannot edit and have
exactly
post-production or whatever.
Exactly. So it was
you're on air. Yeah.
Literally. So it was like playing live. You know, it was the same feeling.
Wow,
so I was like,
that's interesting.
well, it was a good way to. I was like, okay, I'm not playing a lot, but at least I'm doing this, and it feels sort of the same. So that's why I liked it. You know, so I wanted to keep on doing it. So when I got back to school, to Tec de Monterrey after the summer vacation, I was like, oh, how hard will it be to have a radio show in Tec de Monterrey? And apparently it was so easy. I just went to...
You just have to go and ask, hey, can I have a show?
Yeah, fill this in. Oh, yeah, we'll do a pilot. We did a pilot. They never listened to it. I was pushing every day like, hey, do you listen? No. Hey, do you listen to it? No. Hey, okay, we'll listen it together right now. Okay, yeah, you have this time. It was like that. Like, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how they are. I think right now they're way more strict, but like than back then. So I was like actually making the team for the radio show. I was going to be the host. I have another friend who's going to be the producer, who was going to be controlling everything, putting the songs on live and stuff like that. And we wanted to have a co-host.
Okay.
So we were thinking about someone that could be also like that knows a lot about music. I also love music, and we thought of a good friend of mine, Samuel Gomez. Yeah,
a big hello to Samuel.
Samuel,
we love you.
We love you, of course. And Samuel was like, yeah, I will totally love it. And it was his first time as well being host. He was like, I've never done this. Like, don't worry, I don't know what I'm doing as well. We just gonna have fun, play music, and talk about music.
That's so Samuel.
You know. Yeah. So we started Fuzz Radio. And the name Fuzz came because as a guitar player, there's a very famous guitar pedal called Fuzz Face. So it's the guitar pedal they used, that Jimi Hendrix used. There's a lot of players there, but Jimi Hendrix made it famous. And the pedal is like this huge round pedal that is red, white, and black. So our logo, which is Fuzz Media now, has the same colors. It has like this influence of the rock and roll Fuzz, and I love the 4-letter title Fuzz. It's easy to remember, easy to write, and it's electric somehow, like the double Z. You know,
so creative. Who designed the logo?
A friend of mine.
A friend of yours.
Yeah, I came up with the name.
Sounds so great.
And he designed that based on all this, and that's how that Fuzz Media, Fuzz Radio was the first like the first form of this radio show, and we started to invite musicians from our school. Then we started to invite musicians that were outside of our school. Like, for example, one of the biggest bands that came to our radio show was The Warning, that right now they're like huge band. But we have an interview with them, and they became really close friends of mine. That was the magic of us because we connected a lot with the artists, you know, because we were also musicians. So you know, the type of interviews that are with with musicians, between musicians, it's different than from a journalist asking
totally,
stuff, because they always ask the same shit.
Yes, they don't even know what to ask.
Exactly.
What can I ask a musician? Like,
it's so boring. So it was so cool that we could talk about music, gear, stuff like that, play their music live on the radio. So it was a really cool concept, and we actually had we started having a good following on the radio. There were people that were calling to say hi. And it started to like get bigger and bigger. We started to organize concerts with the people that we invited on the radio. We will call them Fuzz Days.
Oh, okay.
So we were like this mini festival.
Oh, it was a thing, like a whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're kind of an entrepreneur also.
Well, yeah, because from that it came something bigger, and because we had problems with the radio station because they didn't. I mean, they liked us a lot because we were one of the biggest shows that they had, but we had a lot of friction because we never felt that they actually support us.
Yeah.
You know, they were never like, oh, let's try this. Oh, you should try this. Oh, you want to interview that guy? Well, we call them. No, nothing. Nothing at all.
They just gave you like their space. And
Exactly, and they felt like, oh, you should be proud that we're giving you the space. And like, fuck off, like, man, we're doing this for free for you. Like, we're doing you free Sorry, I love Tec de Monterrey, but I'm being open. I mean, I'm just saying the things that I passed. So basically, we had that friction, and that's when basically I decided to just leave the radio and do everything online as a online media journalism.
Okay.
We continue doing interviews. Now we do like live interviews in my studio.
Cool.
We invite the artists there, they play a song, we play some games, you know, we have like this TV sort of like online. So because I knew that the internet, well, it's not the future, it's the present, more than the radio. So
totally.
So basically that's...
Oh, that radio was broadcasting like in the city radio, like...
in the whole city.
in the whole city.
Oh, wow.
In the whole city, yeah.
But and also in they had like a internet...
Yeah, you could listen up to it as well. Yeah, we had really good like interviews. We also interviewed Alan Tucker, who he's you know him. He produced... No, he was the master engineer of Bob Dylan, of Metallica, the Black Album. So we have really good stories. We had good content. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's basically Fuzz Media in a nutshell. And we also went to take pictures to shows. I've never taken pictures in concerts, and now I have like more than 100 concerts. I took pictures to Kiss, to Lamb of God, to I don't know, to The Warning. You name them. I mean, I knew this other part of the music industry, that it was so different as being a musician, because I also knew how like being in the industry as a musician, but now I was learning how to be like literally on the other side of the spectrum, you know, like not being the musician, but interviewing the musician, taking pictures of the musician, going as present to a concert, you know. So it was totally new for me, and it was something that I also loved, and I also learned it for my own thing and for helping other musicians how to communicate to the press, you know, how to send emails, how to connect with them, you know, this sort of stuff that I learned because of all that I didn't know that I liked. And everything started just because this friend of mine, this girl, just told me, hey, you want to be on my radio show? Like, yeah, sure. So that's how things began, right?
I love the story. I mean, I really like how you managed to like create something with all your passions, everything you like, and also you found your way into something very like original for you, because it's also hard for us in this industry to find a spot like where we belong. People out there think maybe that being in the music industry is just about playing and performing, and actually it's a really big universe where sometimes we get lost and we don't know what to do or where we belong, because we might have different passions like journalism and music, or playing guitar and doing a skateboard, you know, who knows. We are like very special and original individuals that now is easier to find or create something. So we'll be back with the Fuzz Media and all your background. I'm really happy to actually this is the first podcast episode I have with two guests, and I think it's the only like it's a special occasion. I don't know, maybe the others will be a two.
One-on-one.
One-on-one. That's the usual format, but I really wanted to do this because it's a special, like we were from Mexico, the three of us are Luis, so I wanted to like this is epic happening, and it is gonna be recorded for history, So now here we have Luis Valdez, also a great music producer and songwriter. It's actually we didn't talk about what we are studying here, so Luis Guevara or Luis Enrique is in the Global Entertainment and Music Business program, right?
Yes.
As well as I am, and in this case, Luis Valdez, Luis Adrian, is in the music production and technology.
Technology and innovation.
And innovation. So that program actually, I was very confused when I was applying for the master because I didn't know if I wanted to go to production or if I wanted to go to film scoring or business. In the end,
Basically all of them.
Okay, can I be in all of them? Yeah. Can I be 4 years in the school? But why did I choose music business is another story. Maybe maybe you can invite me to Fuzz Media to talk about myself.
Of course, yeah, we can have an interview.
We are here to talk about yourself, guys. So, Luis, can you share with us and our listeners a little bit about how you got started in the industry and what drives your passion in music?
Yeah, sure. Like when I was little, I always had like this thing for music. There are like videos of me when I was little, like dancing and stuff, and my mom used to play for me like the Baby Mozart thing in the show, and I was like I remember watching those shows like with the Mozart and Beethoven music, like classical music, and that's how it started. But I never like pursue it, never play an instrument until when I was like 10, when I started playing the acoustic guitar, because one friend of mine and me like decided like, oh, we're gonna take classes, and I was like, okay, and I never like truly became good at it. We used to play at churches and masses, in the school, because there was this professor in school that teaches us music.
Okay.
So we're like playing acoustic guitar just for events or something like that, but never too big. Then and we had like a little band back in my school that we used to play for in graduations or something like that, but in the school, not outside the school. And that's where I started. Like in one song I sang, in one I played the drums, in one I played the bass.
Wow.
Like it were simple songs that
but it was easy for you, to just like playing the instrument.
Yeah, like I started with the guitar, and because they were another guitarists in the band, I decided to switch and be like the Joker.
Comodín?
Yeah, the comodín, just to
switching around.
Yeah, switching around between instruments when they were needed.
Oh.
So I mean, there were simple songs, not like. I was like in the bass and then the drums. I was like dun in the drums, like simple drums, But anyway, and then in high school I started like I was into electronic music, like big room, progressive house, like Martin Garrix, all those
Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah, like from back then.
Good times.
And I was like, I wanted to be a DJ. Okay. So I started like learning how to be a DJ. I forgot about the guitar and the instruments, and I went to the DJ part, and I started like mixing and doing stuff and listening to this guy like mix and also produce. So I wanted also to like get into producing. So I started like in GarageBand, like merging sounds like from the basic library, this.
You have like the loops.
Flute, the loops and like this flute sound with this kick drum, and then like, I'm making music, when I was getting better, and I started producing for myself. Like I wanted to be an artist, so I started producing, and then when my parents told me like, you have to study something, and I did like this test that told you that tells you what to.
Oh, like
what
this
to-
orientation,
yeah.
vocational.
Yeah,
test.
vocational tests, and the first thing that it pops it was like ingeniería en producción musical in el
Music
tech,
engineering. Okay.
music engineering, engineering and musical production in tech.
In Tec de Monterrey. Yeah.
But in Chihuahua, I'm from Chihuahua, and there the mayor it doesn't exist in Chihuahua, so I had to go like to Monterrey, Ciudad de Mexico.
You were like the first generation of that program?
No, and because in the Tec de Monterrey in Chihuahua, they doesn't have like all the majors.
Gear and
So this major is like, I mean, kind of small comparing to the another majors.
Yeah.
So they only had it in Puebla, Mexico City, Monterrey. So I had to choose where to go, and I have family in Monterrey, so I decided like, well, this is what I want to study. Like,
This is it.
You also studied that program?
Yeah, that's where we
Oh,
met.
Yeah,
that's
that's where we
another
met.
thing that
Yeah.
Actually, it's
makes
funny because we met in Fuzz.
Fuzz
We
Media.
collaborated in
You
Fuzz
collaborated.
Media.
How was
Yeah.
that? How was that? You invited him to collaborate.
they were doing like auditions for the assistant.
Yeah. So the guy you needed to help you with the controllers and everything, or
Basically, like with logisticals and stuff. Like
so you sent you opened
And the funny thing is like, we were two. There were 2 spots available.
Oh yes.
Like, I don't know how many they applied, but the 2 that we ended up being, guess the name of the other guy.
No, Luis.
Sí.
Come on. They were thinking
Another reason, but he
Yeah.
was from Costa Rica.
Yeah, and they were like, "Why did you choose them?" Like, because they were losers. Like, of course, like we need more losers everywhere.
Luis, like a check.
Yeah, you're in.
We have the proof that if you
so-
find a Luis in the music industry, he's gonna be good at what he does. Yeah.
A fact is science.
Yes,
So
in fact.
yeah, like I decided to start in Monterrey the major, and that's where I met Luis.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like getting better at producing and DJing, and at one point 2 years ago I decided like the sax is like my favorite instrument,
Okay.
so I decided to start playing it and have classes, and I've been playing it for 2 years now.
Wow. So you're like a multi instrumentalist.
Yeah, like very
Well, I
basic,
think
but
most producers are nowadays, right? You actually is part of producing, like understanding how
yeah.
almost every instrument in the different sections work. How are they performed, at least, or you at least know the basics, no?
Yeah.
So it's if you're working with another musician, you can like communicate with him and ask him to do something very specific because you actually know how it
Yeah,
works.
it's very important, like as a producer, to
Yeah,
know that stuff. But also, like, yeah, well, I was getting better and producing for myself, and I started producing for artists in Mexico. Some friends from Chihuahua, I started like producing for them. One is like more pop, one is more reggaeton, and the other one is more like synthwave, more kind of stuff like the new The Weeknd stuff, that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I continued with my project, and now, well, here I am in Berkeley.
Nice. How was your first gig as a producer? Like a friend asked you to produce a song, or you proposed yourself, or
No, a friend of mine, like he played the guitar, and he's also the one that helps me write in the writing, because I'm not that good of myself. So he helps me like write melodies and write the lyrics.
Okay.
So he started like, oh, we should make music, like you help me with the lyrics and I'll help you with the production. So we started like making songs, and I did for him some songs, and we just like hang in my house and make songs, and that's how it started. And then when we released a song, another friend of mine like called me and like we should collaborate, and the other also came like because they saw me and my friend like doing stuff.
So amazing how the paths cross and you find with many people and everyone in the industry is somehow related to others. Actually, I don't know how we didn't meet in Mexico because I also were in Tec de Monterrey.
Yeah.
And I also studied the music production, but I only studied that program for 1 year. Because I first I was in Puebla. I lived in Puebla, and the music production engineering program. Actually, we were first generation, but in Puebla. So after the first semester, everyone went out to Mexico City because they were not happy with the program because they didn't have anything like gear or not even MIDI controllers, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it was
not even a studio or something.
No, there were no studios. There were nothing. There were only classrooms. And
there's now a studio.
No, now there's a studio, but that was. I mean, I'm speaking of probably.
Yeah, like
10 years ago.
Later.
10 years ago.
No, but when you started, like 10
when
years
I started,
ago, then 2 years, 3 years later, they opened the studios. No,
probably like 2 or 3 years later, but. Yeah. Those first 3 years are like a whole
of course,
program, you know. So many people were like,
we need the classes, you know.
They teach you like use this microphone, but
yes.
there's no microphone.
That's what you could use, but we don't have anything.
But now you know.
I remember we were in class in music theory lab, and we were supposed to program stuff with a keyboard with a MIDI controller, and we didn't have MIDI controllers, so there we were like with the mouse just like writing programming. It was we love you, Tec de Monterrey.
Yeah, this is not against Tec de Monterrey.
No, it was just like
there are areas of opportunity,
areas that were 10 years ago.
Back then.
It's okay, but yeah, after that
they were the pioneers of the.
It's not that it's not easy to be a pioneer in any program or in any school or in anything. But okay, so going on, I would like also to tell me for you to tell me about your creative process, both of you guys. So, Luis, can you tell me more? Speaking about production, because you're also a producer and you play. Do you have like a specific process for creativity to, I don't know, write songs or produce or?
Yeah, I mean. I'm a singer-songwriter as well. Like, actually with Samu, I used to collaborate a lot.
Oh.
I played a lot of their songs, of his songs. Back in high school, I actually went to El Festival de la Canción. We went to the finals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was the first time. We went to the finals and everything with one of my songs that I played with, that I wrote with a friend of mine. And then the next year, it was my first year in my major. I met Samu. Samu invited me to his band, and we went to the finals again. Wow. so I love also like writing music and producing music, and for me like my creative my creative process, it varies, but now I have more like a structured way of writing music. Okay. Like, for example, I still have music lessons. Like, one of my teachers is called Alejandro Vera. He's a music composer from Torreon. He's really good. He now gives, actually, he's a teacher in Tecnológico Monterrey of music theory. Okay. I think that he's like one of the best like composers in all Mexico. Like, I can like
sign it.
Yeah, sign it. Like, and I was his first alumno.
Like student.
I was the first student. Yeah, I was his first student.
Sorry, actually. We forget the words with. We are doing our best with English.
I was his first student. Like, he was really young, and they told me like, oh, I was looking for. I wanted to learn music theory because I've never been taught music theory. Like, like if you get into a guitar like a guitar school or stuff like that, they never teach you music theory, nothing. They only teach you tabs and songs. And I was tired of that. I was like, I want to actually know music, and when I was one of those schools, my teacher told me like, oh, you won't learn with me, like you will learn with this guy. He's like really good. He hadn't even graduated from music composition major. So I was his first student. We got along really well. Everything that I know about music theory and composition, I know it because of him. He taught me everything. Like, he's a genius. He's a totally genius. So basically all my music lessons from there, they were like tests, like he was like, okay, we'll explore this genre or this thing and write something from it, So that was like the kind of exercise that we started doing from back then till now. It's like he was like, okay, now let's try to write something that is not that is in this mode, or now use this key, now let's use this instrument, now let's use that. So I have like a basic idea, like I need to use this instrument, or I need to use this, and from there I just like have a chord progression, something, I get a groove, you know. I use a lot like the Logic. I love Logic for doing
creative process.
for definitely like
very intuitive and like,
definitely. I write like the drums there, and then from there I just have a groove, and then I just from there I just try to make it sense like a structure wise, you know, A B B C whatever, like whatever structure that I've done before I haven't done, I give it a structure, and then I just try to find a melody from there, you know. Or sometimes I have melody and just add the chords, whatever, you know. So it varies a little bit, but now it's more like from an idea or something that I haven't tried, you know. Okay, that's where it comes from, a genre.
That's cool.
Whatever. I mean,
that's cool. Yeah, because you always have a new thing to try, and also it helps you like to integrate the knowledge. There's no better way to learn than applying
exactly
the theory actually in a real song or a real project, right?
And the thing is that I try to make these new things sound like me. I'm not trying to make it sound like something else, you know. There's a song that I wrote that is hip hop and salsa.
Okay.
And rock and roll, because I love salsa. I used to play a lot in like music plays, you know, like I played with Samo actually. I played with Samo in Shrek and the In the Heights.
Okay.
I played so many. I don't even remember. So, for example, In the Heights, I don't know if you know that musical.
No, probably.
It's also the one that is Lin-Manuel Miranda. He also wrote that one.
Okay.
Hamilton, he wrote that one.
Yeah.
The one that wrote Hamilton wrote In the Heights. So the music is really good. It's a lot of rap as well, but it's rap with Latin music. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think it's my favorite musical, but for the music, the story is meh.
Oh yeah, okay.
But the music is really good. It's a lot of salsa, Latin American rhythm. So actually playing in the musicals, I learned a lot about different genres because they always
cool.
They always play like they always force you to play different genres. I play jazz, I play Latin music, I play rock and roll, I played lots of genres in guitar wise, you know, and I apply those things that I learned, some leaks, some like interesting ideas into my own songs. Like for example, like this rap song salsa, I had that idea because of In the Heights, you know, like it sounds really good. I want to try something like that for myself, you know. So that's how I normally write music. You know, there's something I haven't tried or something that I found interesting. I try to do it for myself, and try to make it sound like me. You know.
I love it. I mean, I think you're like a compilator of things, because if I compare what you do on Fuzz Media and what you do on your creative process, you're pretty much like you absorb a lot and you like to learn from people, you like to learn from what is around you and do something with that. So it's really cool, and actually you can see it reflected in every person, and like in different aspects of their lives. Like in this case, you can project yourself in the different facets you are. So that's really cool. I really like it. In your case, Luis, thank you. In your case, also the same. Like, is there any specific technique or a special philosophy you have when you are producing a song or a project?
Well, basically, I start making the instrumentals first. Like, I listen to something and like I have to do something like this. Like the feeling that it generates inside me. Like I need to do something that generates the same feeling or has the same like energy, you know, like try to make something that I like, and also like make it on my own, like try to grab the inspiration but try to come out with something a little bit different, or trying to make like what else can I add that makes it like innovative or new or that doesn't sound like the same. So I start like making these instrumentals, and I try to make it as much as I can make, and sometimes it comes to nothing, sometimes a good song comes out of it, but I make the instrumental, and then I go to my friend like Charlie, and he helps me. Like I need the melody, and I know what I want to be about.
Okay,
sometimes
you know what to say.
But I'm not good at like writing, because when I write, I feel like I'm saying like this thing that I like cringe, you know, like
yes, I understand.
Like I wrote something like no, it sounds like very like
yeah, like if it was
like
were written by a teenager.
Yeah, like I don't have this like experience. I need to write more to get over it. But
it's a skill.
But at first I go with my friend, and he helps me like writing and with the melody, and I suggest things like, oh, I like how you sang this, but maybe you can put these lyrics, or maybe change the melody and finish it this way, something like that. Okay. You know, like between us two,
both of you like go in this way,
we try
collaborative.
Yeah, one thing that we do. Well, recently, like I played him the song, and he improvised like just a melody, like you know, and then we comp it, and we like this part for the chorus, or we like this part of the verse, and then with that melody we try to come up with the lyrics.
Some lyrics.
So that's how one of the songs like came. One of the one that is called Feels, like he improvised it, and I think that the chorus is like what he improvised, almost like, you know, like it was like, baby, you give me the feels, and it was like improvised, and then we were like, that's actually really nice. So we left it like that. Yeah, we left it like that, and it's something that we have been using, like improvise, and then maybe something cool comes out of it, and we use it. So that's one technique that we use a lot. That's a good
technique, actually. Yeah, it's amazing how everyone ends up finding its own process, because as you said, sometimes it's not like always the same. Sometimes you might change it. Sometimes you might start with another thing. Sometimes your creativity gets like you need like a starter, like something that brings this spark. That you say, like this in this case.
Yeah, for me it's like listen to the music, or I really like sunsets. I really like clouds, like hanging out with my friends. You know, like from every experience or thing, you can like I can have a spark, and maybe I can't write at the moment, but I make notes or voice notes, something like that to remember the idea. But yeah, mostly from things that I listen or see.
Is there any like favorite song for like that you have made now? Like, do you have one favorite maybe?
From my songs?
Yeah, from your songs.
Well, it's difficult, like every song has its own. So yeah, no, I think it's difficult.
But just one, like you can remember one now.
Well, the one that I say like feels is like we had so much fun making.
It's the one with sax.
Yeah, I played the sax in that song.
Oh, great!
It was the first. Yeah, it was the first song I played sax in.
Is it released yet in any platform or?
Yeah, it's on Spotify. And any platform that you use.
How can we find it?
Feels by the Luis.
Feels by the Luis. So I will put it here.
DELOUIS.
Yeah, for those that are not watching the video and are just listening, you just heard the LOUIS, right?
And DE espacio. LOUIS.
Like Louis in French.
Louis.
All right. So yeah, we definitely must listen to some of your work. I would like to know, how do you end up here? What's your story with Berkeley? So maybe you want to. You want to say?
I mean, like I told you before, I tried to be in Berkeley before as my major. It didn't work out. I think it was for better. Because what I learned in Tecnológico Monterrey, now I'm talking good about tech. What I learned and the teachers that I met and my friends that I made. I something that I precious a lot. It's something really special, and it made me who I am right now. I think I had a lot of experiences that probably wouldn't have gotten from Berkeley, Boston. I'm not saying that I wouldn't get good experiences from Berkeley, Boston, but what I'm saying is I think that I received what I needed back then,
Totally,
you know?
totally.
Because if I right now looking back, if I actually had that major, I would probably like not regret it, but I probably now think completely different about it. Not that I don't want to be a musician, but I actually learned that I like other stuff, like we were talking in the beginning of the podcast, like journalism and all that. All those areas are sometimes not as explored in the music business. You know what I mean? Because I haven't had any lessons on music media, and there's no lessons on music media. Like no one teaches you how to make a media or journalism of music. You know.
Actually, no. You probably would have to study like a major in communication and media, or at least a small course of this. So yeah, that's really true. Yes.
So I think that's something that I appreciated from actually being in Tec de Monterrey, because I had the opportunity to have the radio show. I have the opportunity to play musicals. I had the opportunity to write songs and Festival de la Canción and all that stuff, you know, and to meet new friends and interesting people. So basically, after that, I knew that what I was doing in my life was basically play guitar, produce music, journalism, and record stuff. You know, I have my studio back home. That's where I do the interviews. That's where I do everything. And I was like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm having this like Fuzz Media entertainment thing that is happening. Like Fuzz Records is the studio, you know. So it's like an ecosystem that is beginning to emerge. We already organize concerts as well. We live stream the concerts as well. We record the concerts. So it's all like this ecosystem that I'm trying to do, a community of musicians, and you know, in Monterrey. So that's when I got my mind open, my third eye open about like what would be something good for me right now. So when looking for a major, I wanted to have a major, yes or yes. Like I didn't know exactly what major I wanted, but I wanted to have a major because first of all, nowadays having a major is like really good, like business wise, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's something that is separates you apart from.
Oh, you mean major?
No, I mean master. Sorry, master. Sorry, master. Having a master, master is something that separates you like from a lot of other people, you know, and it gives you the connections for something that is bigger than you know. And I saw with my brother, because he did a master in MBA in France, and he met like these amazing people from all over the world, and he had connections, and he grew a lot as a person. And I've seen also with other friends that had masters. So I was like, I would love to have a master. I would love, definitely. I'm not sure. I was thinking about marketing, because I love marketing. I told you I love also graphic design. I do a lot of graphic design in Fuzz. I do all the graphic design in Fuzz and for my stuff.
Wow.
So it's something that I also feel passionate about. But then I saw like, oh wait, Berkeley has masters. Let's see if I can get a comeback.
Second chance.
Yeah, second chance. So I started looking at the masters, and I saw also the production. I like the production as well, but I felt like what I'm doing is not production. It's not like the main thing that I'm doing. It's just the thing that I'm just doing for myself and sometimes for other people, but it's not like the main thing that I'm doing. The main thing that I'm doing is basically like, well, Fuzz and media and entertainment and experiences, you know. So I guess that wasn't for me, and neither like film scoring, you know. So it was kind of sort of obvious, like, well, what I need, or I'm lacking of, is the business side as well, because something that I've seen is that music, when you begin, is always so like, I wouldn't say I'm professional, but you know what I mean, like so over the air, you know, like I'll produce, but we never talk about like the royalties, we never talk about like copyright stuff, and we never talk about how much we will pay you, how much I pay you, what do you deserve, really, contrast, whatever. It was more like we record, whatever.
It's so cool. Just have fun.
And as a media, it's something I'm actually still struggling with, is to learn how to make it more professional and earn money
like
from it, actually. You know, it's make it a business.
How to monetize your projects, right?
Exactly. So I knew that those were the things that I was lacking, you know. I have the idea, I have the product, I have the ecosystem, I have sometimes they say that that's the hard thing.
Yeah.
But depends of who you ask, I guess. I mean, because
course, yes.
for me the hard thing is to actually make it a business, make it something real, make it something tangible, more than just passion and
yeah,
you know.
like just playing and having fun.
Exactly.
Which is how, in my opinion, is the best way to start, because it is authentic. Like, it's something real. You're not doing it for the wrong reasons. Sometimes business that's come up just for the money, they end up like failing because they doesn't have this like spark, you know. But when it's something that you love and you created by from this source, I think it is more. There are more probabilities that it will succeed, you know, because resources and monetization is not easy, but it's the most thing that exists in the world is money, I think. So we just gotta find it.
Exactly.
Know the right people and just know our craft in the business, right? So that's why you're here.
Exactly. To compensate the things that I feel that I'm lacking, basically.
Oh, that's great. So you applied and you got accepted, and
yeah.
How do you feel when you received your acceptance letter?
Oh, it was so crazy. Now that you mention, it was very special because that was when my brother was actually graduating from his master. So we went to France and we went to Paris because he studied the MBA in INSEAD, which is a really good university actually, like of MBAs, and he studied in Fontainebleau. It's a really close by town near Paris, like 40 minutes. So we went there for his graduation. We were having like this big dinner party it was literally the day of his graduation, you know, and we were having dinner at Paris at an Italian restaurant. And I remember that I logged in to see if I received the letter, and I saw the letter, and everyone was there, like my parents, like my brother, his friends, his now spouse, and he also got married there. So it was like a lot of things happening that night, you know. So it was so magical because I was like with everyone there, and I told everyone like, hey, I got accepted, and everyone just like, oh my god, it's so cool, congratulations. I called with my friends back home, and it was a special day. I still remember it was like I don't know, like everything just puzzling in the right place at the right moment. Like it feels it. Yeah, I've heard about synchronicity. Have you heard about that?
Yes, totally. Yes.
I think it was something like that. You know, when you were at the right place at the right moment, because you were feeling going with the flow, whatever your life was pushing into. So I guess that's how it felt.
It's amazing. Very, very beautiful memory you have.
Definitely.
From that moment. What about you, Luis?
Well, I was studying in tech and I didn't have a job or anything, so I was like, what can I do next?
Okay.
And searching for like masters or jobs or stuff like that. It was like, what about if I go to Berkeley to study a master? You know, like, because I also I didn't want to make a major because for entering a major you need to play like an instrument really well, and I didn't play like an instrument like really well. So I knew that when they told me like you have to audition, they were like well, you know. So that's why and because of the the major in technological, it was like
you're not a performer itself, you know.
Yeah, and it was like, well, that's the one that I can make here in Mexico, and it will be just fine, you know. Like it's a good major and a good school, and so I went there, and then I was going to go to Bath in a semester in university, but the COVID came. I have to mention the pandemic.
Yes.
And my mom was like, well, don't worry, like after you graduate you can go like 1 year or 1 semester after you graduate, and they're like, yeah, I can go like later. And searching for opportunities, I applied to Berkeley just to see if I could like get in. And yeah, it was like I thought the process was like really easy, you know, like.
What I'm curious. What did they ask you for the music production program? Like, Is there like you must give a portfolio?
Yeah, you have to give like portfolio, CV, make a video of yourself and talk of what you do and what you want to do here. Do a like kind of a cover letter.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Like,
purpose, letter of purpose, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why do you want to come? And then,
yeah, something like that. And yeah, that's what I remember. Like what you wanted, and then you had like an interview, and then you have like placement exams and stuff.
All right.
So for me, like really easy to. It was really easy to.
So you must be good. Like, you must be really good. No, because I actually applied for the master first before the pandemic. No, actually during the pandemic, I was about to graduate from my major in music production because after Tec de Monterrey, I moved to Mexico City and I started studying in another school called Rec Musica.
Mm-hmm.
I studied my whole major in there in music production. And when I was finishing, I wanted to come to Berkeley, so I applied for the film scoring for what is it? Sound.
So from film and TV.
For film, music for film and TV or something like that. But they ask you for a lot of stuff. Like you already have to have like some background in the film industry. Well, that's what I like. You must have a portfolio. You must show some stuff you have already done. So yeah, I sent up some stuff I had like small projects, but I didn't get accepted. So for me, it was really a real turn down for me. Like, all right, so maybe not. But 2 years later, it's funny because in those 2 years I got many gigs for films and for television in Mexico. So
you didn't have synchronicity then.
No, those 2 years I made 4 movies.
Okay, you will see what I will do.
Yeah, you will. No, but
you will regret
it's actually really cool because the experience I got there, like you said with Tec de Monterrey, that it didn't happen for a reason, and it didn't need to happen in that time. It was perfect because what I needed to learn from the TV industry and the film and everything, I learned it in another way. Mm-hmm. So I got the experience I needed in that, and now I'm not like that into film and television, or at least not into like professionalizing myself in that area. You know, I love it. I like doing it, but I that's why I'm in music business. You know, I want to try other stuff, but it's funny how things. When things don't happen, it's because
part of life.
It's not supposed to be that way. So
and it's also the way that you take it. Like you said it like it didn't push you to stop doing it. You actually do it. You kept on doing it, and you learned that it wasn't your big thing for you.
Exactly.
You know, like for me, like it happened the same thing.
It happened for something.
Yeah, and in other cases, you apply it. Everything seems so easy because it was the way you were supposed to take. So that's sometimes people we don't.
I mean, it was easy, but. Like I got nervous like a lot.
Of course, yes, of course. I mean, it sounds easy now.
Yeah, it sounds easy
because we're here.
Yeah, but I was never like first like doing the stuff and then like in the video and then the interview and
There's
then
a lot
like
of stuff.
getting accepted and then like in the exams.
Yes.
So it was like nervous every step, but now looking back, it's like, I mean, I had reasons to be nervous, but. It was easy, like.
Yeah, you just did what you had to do.
Yeah.
The rest is just the pieces that must fall into its place, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, nice. Can any of you can tell me about is there any like a definite moment or experience that made you like say, okay, I want to do this forever. Like I want to dedicate my life to music. Is there like any memory that comes?
Well, but starting like when I was in high school, like. Starting to DJ, it was like for me, I think like the turning point for my career because because I started like DJing and then like producing, and then like I really like producing, so I want to be better and try to be a professional at this. So that's my starting point was like in high school.
But is there like in that time of your life like a specific moment, like an eureka moment, like something that?
No, I think it was just like things falling into place. You know, like I don't have like a feeling or something like that. Just like things are coming into place and starting start to, if you have like a goal, if you pursue it, like everything is coming to place, like. So that's why I think like everything got to place, and I'm here.
Great. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I guess, also in high school, when I still remember the first time that I played on stage, actually.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like that was the thing that I wanted to do forever, but definitely was a thrill that I got addicted to, basically.
Okay.
Because I was so nervous. I remember it was the first song that I ever playing guitar was "Time of Your Life" by Green Day.
Yeah.
So I remember that I played it, and I was so nervous. I just went on stage, did it, and it was like this rush of things and feelings happening all around your body that I've never experienced before.
Yeah.
And you just never get used to it, That's something that is beautiful. You just never get used to actually playing live, to play, basically, to go to that mind state of meditation with the music, that you just disconnect, that you even forget what were you doing up there, what even you said, I sometimes just go on stage and talk shit, and I'm like, why did I say that? But it was something that happened in the moment, or that solo or
the
whatever.
The problem is when you forget the lyrics of the song.
Oh,
that happened to me once in a Festival de la Canción, actually.
No.
I was so nervous, I forgot the lyrics, but even with that, I passed on to the next phase.
Oh, nice.
The jurados, like the
jury?
The jury was like very okay. They saw me and they said like, okay, you were very nervous. Don't do it the next phase. Learn the song and control your nerves. But they said in the end it's a good song, so you must go.
Well, for me, like watching the big DJs, and I'm like, I want to be like them, traveling the world, making music, like living of it. Yeah. So it was like, soy ese.
I'm that one.
I'm that one.
Nice.
I want to be like him and make music and change people's lives with my music.
Nice, that's beautiful. I just remember that I don't know which artist said that the day I stopped feeling like electricity in my stomach before going out to a scenario, that day I will live music. Yeah, I don't know who, but I just remember that, and it's true.
I think that's why the Rolling Stones, they keep on playing. It's not for money, definitely not. It's because that's what they keep them alive.
Yes.
Like B.B. King.
Billy Joel, man. Like
Billy
he's
Joel,
still touring and I saw him with my dad because Billy Joel is one of my dad's favorite artists, and he went to Mexico. Actually, it was in March 2020, and like 1 week later,
the pandemic. Oh shit!
Yeah, we were really scared because we were there with like 10,000 people, and then the news like days after they were like this illness in the world, pandemic, and I was like, oh my god, we were there with a lot of people, and I don't want my dad to be sick. But no, nothing happened.
Yeah, because in Mexico it hadn't arrived yet.
But I saw that guy in the scenario doing rocking, and he has how much like 70 years.
Yes, he's old.
And he's still rocking. Like I was like, good.
Yeah, I mean B.B. King, he played like 300 days a year. He used to play like in his bar every night until he passed away. Literally, like that's what. Music kept him alive, and I think that a lot of musicians and also athletes like Peyton Manning and all those guys, they never retired because of that. Like they just can't.
They were for them. They just keep playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because in the end, that's why they started doing it. Like they are so lucky that it became a career and they actually made a living because of it. But in the end, the performers, I think they always. What they want to do is perform, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, any challenge, like a specific moment, like you had to like thrive, like or to, I don't know, like overcome. Yeah, like it made you think about if you want to keep going with your music path or not.
Well, I mean, I began my music path trying to be an artist, try to be a musician, and I thought I was giving it everything, but what I learned that is difficult, and also you depend a lot of luck. whenever that, I mean, and I think that people really underestimate luck. like while reading a book that they actually ask us to read, like
economics.
Yeah, it says a lot, luck, 1%, like
totally. Yeah,
you can be as good as whatever, and because I've met a lot of really good musicians, really talented, and it always baffled me, like, why not everyone is famous and rich, even if they're really good songwriters, they're really good musicians. It's something that actually like made me conscious about it, and also
me too. Yes.
Got me a little bit sad as well.
Yes.
Like I mean, I know I'm good. Like I mean, I know. I mean, I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm the best. No, but I know that I'm sufficiently good.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel like I think I deserve more. You know, like and that's the thing that you should, I think, overcome or accept.
The frustration,
I guess. I mean, it's not that you're not talented enough. It's more like you need to seek for the opportunities, for the percentage of luck to get even more. You know what I mean?
Like what you said, be in the right time at the right moment. So sometimes you just have to be patient.
You need to be conscious when that right moment is, and that's the hard thing. To be conscious, because a lot of people is not conscious. They may be just playing,
and not be afraid like to take the opportunity when it arrives.
Yes. They may be an opportunity, you just don't see it.
Or maybe you're looking in the wrong place. You know,
exactly.
Sometimes you're like very terco, stubborn.
Yes.
To like keep trying there, and it's not there. So there's this other
open-minded.
I think it's a dilemma because for example, I saw this. Sometimes I think when obstacles come. I always see myself wondering, okay, is this because life wants to challenge me to see if I really want this, or is life like trying to show me that is not the right way? And I always get this dilemma, like, okay, what? So it's like, I take a pause and I really meditate on it and think about it, but it's happened a lot of times. Like when I start getting like stuck at something, and I am like, should I go for this or not? And it's what you say, it's being conscious, being really aware of you and your surroundings, or I don't know. It's not easy.
It's difficult to be conscious.
Yeah, like when this thought arrives, like, am I good enough?
Yeah. Also the self-judge that is telling you that you're not good enough.
So it's this thought that you have to also overcome and try to, if it's really what you want to do, like keep trying.
Yeah. Well, any advice for those that are watching or listening to us that maybe they are aspiring musicians, or they are they are starting their careers, or maybe they want to do something that you already are doing, guys? And I don't know, in related to journalism, to production, to songwriting, to studying in another country, or what advice would you say to a person that is here, like asking, hey, help me?
I don't want to be cliche, but like, keep trying. Like if you want that thing to happen, you have to work for it. So like, have very specific goals of what you want to do and pursue them, and everything will come into place. And if you keep insisting and keep trying, and if you really want to do it, it will come to you. I think that may be the best advice that not everyone tells you, I think.
Yes, actually, I really loved what they made us do, the International Career Center, about the SMART goals. Because actually this happening right now, the podcast is because their fault, because what you say, like, you must, okay, it's good to dream, it's good to have like this illusions and passions, but you must put a date on your goals. You must do like a plan. You must have a plan, and you must have little small tasks that take you to the big goal. Because if you are just improvising and just like, okay, let's see what happens, sometimes nothing happens, right? Because also we love to procrastinate. So if you don't put a date on the things, it never
it happens. Like, you procrastinate, but you have to find your way back into.
Nice. And in your case, Luis?
Well, I could say various things. First of all, don't compare yourself. That's so toxic. You can
important.
learn from others.
Yeah.
That's important, but don't compare with them,
Yeah.
because everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own timing. Everyone has their own surroundings, and context matters a lot, and not everyone has the same context as you, or even between us. I mean, we have the same university, and we're doing different stuff. You know, we met different
totally
people.
different
you know?
backgrounds.
So don't compare, but learn and try to apply it to your own context, and also be open to try different things. Like, that's something that I learned from at least myself. If I was stubborn just to be a musician and songwriter and just to be an artist, I probably wouldn't learn that I liked journalism, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm not being an artist anymore. I'm doing it, but it's not like my main thing. I'm just doing it for fun, for passion, you know. And if you ever get something greater than I was expected, good. If not, I don't care. I'm just doing it because it's part of myself, you know. I'm not saying that you should leave something behind, but be open to things that you probably never thought you would like, you know. So
and it's also like don't be. We sometimes are very harsh on ourselves, and for example, leaving something as a hobby or as a side project is not a failure. Like
no.
If you are, in my case, also I do write songs. I record my songs. I release them, but I used once to see myself as a recording artist and scenarios and stuff, but then I realized that that was what I didn't want. I didn't want that as a main activity. So now I do it for fun. But sometimes we might say, "Oh, I didn't make it," and that's not the truth. I mean, it's just like we find other areas that we might want to explore, and they actually bring us more joy, or we find more productive in those areas.
And something that I've seen as well, is that when you do it for basically when you get rid of the pressure of actually making it, you start doing things better. You know? So,
yeah.
So I think that should be like something like, not leave it behind, like you say, like just relax, do it, like put goals, like we were saying, but do it, but don't pressure yourself, and just let it happen, you know. Like,
exactly, yes.
What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna. I have a recommendation. I read the book of Rick Rubin of the Creative Way, and it's really good. Like, I mean, if you're an artist, any kind of, well, everyone is an artist.
Yes, totally.
Like he says, like, if you want, like, for me, it inspires me to believe in myself and to be more creative. And he says a lot in the book, like, you're an artist, make art. Don't put attention to anything else. Like, try to do the art, and things will come into place for you. And just remember that this art is like transcending. You know, like you're making something out of this world that is really important for us as humans. So this book is really helpful, and to open your mind to this, like, you know, things from you're reading it, like you're reading it, and it's like, oh, like I know this inside of me, but someone has to tell you or something. Or you need to see it and like mark it, like this thing really connected to me. So a lot of things happen from a lot of things for this book are like really important, what he says, and a lot of things, like you can be in
you not
disagree like, with him, but in some things I think like he has a really cool way to think that it helps you like being more creative and understand your role as an artist and as a person in this creative industry.
Great, that's good advice. Also, like just to add to the books that for people might read, also the way of the artist, or the artist's way. I don't know, is that the name in English? It is I think the author is Jules Cameron. I will post it in the description, but it's El Camino del Artista, and it is also like a super mind-opening. That book actually says what you said, that everyone is an artist in his own way. We all have a connection with something bigger than us that inspires us to do something.
We are creative people, like from problem solving for doing a song. Like
exactly,
and
Lawyers,
everything is creative.
economists, everyone are creative people, and the thing is, we have only to find this relationship between us and our creative self, and not be very judgmental with ourselves, because that's what this book, the whole its whole objective is to release the block, like the writer's block thing, sometimes we get, so it like releases all your creativity and takes out these beliefs that block you.
Yeah.
So guys, well, it's been a pleasure to have you here in the first episode. Actually, I love the things that came up in the whole conversation. So before we go, just tell me about the projects you are currently working on, something we can expect to see from you in the future.
You can follow us, Fuzz Media, FUZCC.media. And you can follow us also Fuzz Records, that is the studio, and we'll keep on doing like the show. We're doing even more interviews. We're doing music content about history and all that things that it's basically the same thing we used to do, but now online. And also, as I told you before, I'm a musician. I just released an album. It's my second album, actually.
Yay, congratulations!
Thank you. It's called Merry Pranksters. It has 11 songs, and you can listen to it in Spotify. You can find me as Luis Guevara. And it has a happy face, that's me. and I also released a live album. I recorded that on my birthday. It was a live stream. It was so cool. It was basically the same album, my first two albums, but live music with my band.
Okay.
And it was a very special day. It was beautiful. Nice. My cousin was on the drums. My other cousin was telling jokes during the show, and it was my girlfriend was singing backing vocals with me. My really, really good friends were playing guitar, piano, bass. So it was a really good night, and it's also live on Spotify, so you can listen to it. And I'm also planning to release new music soon. I told you it's part of my self thing. It's impossible for me not to do music. So those are the things that I'm mainly doing right now.
Nice, perfect. So we will keep follow you on all the social media. So it's at Louis. How is your?
My personal Instagram is at Luis.gl95.
Okay, Luis.gl95.
Yep.
You can follow him in every social media platform, and also at Spotify as Luis Guevara, right?
Yep.
And Luis, what about you?
Well, I'm working right now for the master in my album. So you can expect them for the next year.
Nice.
And I'm right now. I haven't released anything recent, like in February or something. I released the last song, but I'm keeping the songs to release an album soon. So
nice.
And I'm working with other artists as well, but for myself and for my project, the next big step is work on an album.
Perfect. So obviously you will collaborate with other students from school or
of course
musicians.
I want to really collaborate with. I already have like collaborations from my friends in Mexico, so now I want to collaborate with people from here and see what happens. And make a lot of music and then choose for the album, and then the others keep them or release them later. I don't know, but make a lot of music for myself, and
that's good. That's great.
And then release it.
Perfect. So how can we find you in social media?
Yeah, in social media, like at thelouis.wave, like WAV, like the audio extension.
All right.
So like DELOIS.WAV.
All right. The Luis. .web.
In Instagram and TikTok, you can find me at that, and the Luis in Spotify and the other streaming platforms.
All right. So guys, stay tuned for the next episodes. Thank you for watching and listening this first episode of the second season of Music Business 101. We will have amazing guests from very different contexts, very different backgrounds, different subjects. We will speak about so much things here, even mental health in the music industry as well, because I already seen some people signing up for the guest list. So subscribe to the podcast if you like it. You can share it with anyone you like. And for all people in Mexico, we love you, los queremos un montón.
Un abrazo.
Gracias.
Un abrazo fuerte a la familia, a los amigos, and thank you for watching.
Gracias.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey through the melodies and bits of the Music Business 101 podcast. We hope today's episode resonated with you and provided valuable insights into the music industry. A big shout out to our incredible guests for sharing their expertise and experiences with us. We couldn't do this without you, our dedicated listeners. Your support means the world to us. If you loved what you heard today, please subscribe and spread the word. Together we'll continue to explore the dynamic world of music and the stories that shape it. As we part ways for now, remember that music has the power to inspire, unite, and transform lives. Whether you're a musician, a music enthusiast, or someone seeking the magic of a great tune, keep the music alive in your heart. Stay tuned for more fantastic episodes with industry leaders and creative minds. Until next time, this is Luis Guinea signing off. Keep the music playing, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you and farewell.